For the record, I think this is a terrible idea, but my producer wanted me to read you some fun facts about this film, so here goes. The Gray Man was based on a novel by Mark Greaney. Okay? Chris Evans is composed of mainly water. Well, that's technically a fact, but so is every other human being. What's your point? Ryan Gosling's real name is Richard Chicken Sauce. No. In this movie, Ryan Gosling plays a convict who, in turn for a lifetime commitment, turns into a super spy for the CIA. His new name is Sierra 6 and his job is pretty simple, killing bad guys. But when he uncovers a secret while on a mission, he becomes the most hunted man in the world. And to make matters worse, the guy they send after him is a complete psychopath with unlimited resources. This movie was directed by the Russo brothers, who also made some of my favorite Marvel films. This is a solid spy movie with a lot of great action sequences, and the pacing is unbelievable. Okay, this one just says birds. The two standouts are of course Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans. Gosling is very good at being stoic while expressing a lot with his eyes and bone-dry humor. In this movie he's a mix between John Wick, Jason Bourne, and has a similar backstory as Peacemaker from the Suicide Squad. Evans, however, is a lot more fun to watch because he plays a total psycho. He was declared too insane for the CIA and is now working in the private sector, and you can tell he had a lot of fun with this character.
You must be Lloyd.
What gave it away?
The white pants, the trash stash, it leans Lloyd.
Even when he's pretending to be nice, he comes off as a total dick. Every now and then he's a little bit over the top, but in an action movie like this, who cares? But there are certain tropes and inconsistencies in this movie that keeps it from being really great. For example, there's a young girl in the movie who plays the niece of Billy Bob Thornton's character Fitzroy. He was the one who recruited Gosling out of prison and becomes sort of his father figure. But the niece character was a little obnoxious. I've seen that trope so many times, and if this was a Shane Black movie, I wouldn't have minded so much. This is nothing against the young actor who plays her, she was great, but when kids are obnoxious in these types of films, I just have a hard time caring about what happens to them.
I mean, my ego's a little bruised.
Another thing I found a little iffy was the motivation of Anna de Armas' character. I really like her in this movie, but her character's reasoning wasn't really explained. She was part of the critical operation in the beginning of the film when everything goes south and Six decides to run. Her boss suspects her of foul play, and because she cares about her career, she decides to help Six?
Let's go.
I'm good.
Let's go.
It sounded like a question.
I would have liked to have seen a little something that explains why her career is so important to her. But these are just some small things that I noticed. They don't ruin the story at all. I had a lot of fun watching this. Because the action is bananas. I especially liked the hand-to-hand combat scenes. There are some great little moments, and the movie constantly moves from one big set piece to another. Although some of the action sequences are a little confusing at times, not a lot, but there are a few scenes that were cut a little too fast for my taste. But nevertheless, every stunt, every fight, every explosion feels visceral. Speaking of visceral, if you're squeamish about torture scenes, the sound design in this film is really good, and there's one particular scene that's just yikes. There was also this one specific flashback in the beginning of the film that at first didn't really do anything for me. But what I later realized, it was a setup for a very cool payoff in the third act. And even though the story is a little messy at times, especially with the side characters, it's still a very fun and exciting spy movie from the Russos. It will be on Netflix at the end of this month, but it also gets a theatric release this week. I recommend seeing this on the largest screen you can find because so far, this was one of the better action movies of 2022. I'm not reading this. This doesn't make any sense. Thank for watch. Please forget to lick my bell and subsidize.